Hey, what's up? I'm glad you made it here. This is Rodolfo Vieira and this is arguably the most comprehensive and profitable betting channel on YouTube. I have experience of betting MMA and the UFC for more than 9 years, and I'll be here sharing my betting strategy for the upcoming events. Everything is recorded and I'm keeping track from July 2020, so you guys can see the consistency. But before continuing, I'd like to add a caveat here. These are not investments, and this cannot be regarded as investment of any type. There is no guaranteed return whatsoever. Betting involves high risk, and in case you want to follow my strategy and what I'm doing here, you are taking full responsibility and full accountability for the same, alright? If you have seen me before and you trust my analysis, you trust what I'm doing here, but you'd like a more personalized approach, I'm opening a VIP list for those that are interested. If you are interested into that, take a look in the about of my channel. There's an email you can drop me and I'll give you the instructions to follow on. In this video I'll be covering the prelims for UFC Fight Night 184, Holloway versus Kattar, or UFC on ABC 1. If you're interested in the main card predictions, there is in the link in the video description, there's a link to the main video. Feel free to check that out too. And if you want to continue supporting the channel, please just like this video and subscribe, share it with your friends, and keep the word out there. So here real quick, just showing the previous results. Guys, I'm just summarizing everything for the year 2020 here. I haven't done yet the full video for the wrap-up of the year. I'll be doing that soon. But if you don't know where these numbers came from, just take a look in the previous videos for the channel. You're gonna see all the events that I bet from July 2020, right? This is basically the betting strategy for the card. If you know myself, you know what all of this means. And if you don't, just hang on and take a look in the video in the description. There's also a link to how you can use this spreadsheet and what does this mean, alright? So like I said, I'm gonna be covering here the prelims for UFC Fight Night 184. Gonna be a quite stacked predictions, right? Because this is gonna be over 10 fights, so I'm gonna try to keep it short and nice, not to extend too much. But always, feel free to pause this video, take a look in the comments that I put here for each fighter. I think they're worth your time. Joaquin Buckley versus Alessio de Chirico, kicking things off, maybe. Actually, I'm not sure about the lineup, so this probably are part of the prelims. So Joaquin Buckley versus Alessio de Chirico. Buckley, he's like it's a compact, middleweight, 5'10", but he's got athleticism. The guy is very strong. He's very young. I like the way he times his overhands, his left hooks. And he's very good when he blitzes forward, corrals guys in close to the cage and start landing those bombs. He also has got quite decent wrestling. He's also recently adding some tools to his game, more like kicks, like clinch game. But still, he's like a developing fighter, and his style is based on physical strengths and power punches. Alessio de Chirico, he's an Italian. This guy is more like a well-rounded fighter. He fights better using his striking, both 1-2. He also uses lots of hooks. But I like a lot about him is his wrestling. It's not like elite level, but it's pretty good. He times that quite well. He also has good technique. He also does a quite good job in keeping things, keeping his opponents in the clinch and mixing up the game. Now, my prediction for these fights, guys, I think de Chirico has more experience, but I'm not sure he's gonna be able really to use much here. The problem is that de Chirico, he's not a guy who's has a big heart in a fight, goes really hard to win the fight. And I'm thinking that Buckley, he has the physical strength and he has the pressure to corral de Chirico and start landing those bombs. I think de Chirico gonna try to fight a little bit smarter here, so he has a chance, especially if he can use his wrestling and control Buckley, so Buckley gets tired and loses his power. But I think gonna be tough to do it. That's why I'm picking Buckley. I'm going by decision because, like I said, I think de Chirico gonna fight quite smart, not gonna brawl with Buckley. If he does, he's gonna get caught and probably gonna get finished. And I think Buckley by decision. And if you're interested in other bets, I think TKO on Buckley, if you can find this line, which I think it's difficult, or de Chirico by decision in this line, which is maybe possible. Okay, so watch out for that. Hawes versus Nassourdine Imavov. Hawes is another, quite compact middleweight, very strong guy, very explosive, has good power, especially on the overhand, has quite decent wrestling and grappling. But he's a guy who starts very fast and then he tends to slow down. Nassourdine Imavov is more like a striker, quite tall guy, 6'3", young guy himself, always in the fight, very tough, strong chin, good cardio. He's in a good training camp himself. He also, when he hits punches, he tends to roll with them quite well, even though he carries the chin quite high, so there is a concern there, but he tends to roll quite well with the punches. And overall, he's like more like a striker, but he can wrestle a little bit, can clinch his opponents, and in case he goes to his back, he stands quickly back up. So he's like a tough guy, quite a complete fighter, based on striking primarily. The way I see this fight taking place is like I think for Hawes, he's gonna come out hard and fast on the first round. He has a good chance to finish there, but I'm thinking that more likely Imavov gonna be able to survive, even if he hits some shots. I think he has a strong chin, strong enough to withhold and to survive. And then I think from the second round Imavov gonna take this over. That's why I'm picking Imavov by decision. And in terms of bet, like I said, Hawes very strong on the first round. So if you like him, I would say it's most likely the round one. Or I would say that Hawes by decision at this price is also maybe worth it, because he can land some bombs. He can bring a different style that we never seen before, like manage his energy a little bit better. But I think it's either Hawes in the round one or Imavov can take over. So I'm thinking that Imavov can even get a knockout in the second or the third round. So take a look for these prop bets or the decision bet by Imavov. That's the best bet in my opinion. I'm also betting Imavov, as you guys see in the spreadsheet, but I'll get back to that. SantiagoPonzinibbio versus Jingliang Li. Ponzinibbio is a guy that he's primarily a striker. He has got lots of movements. He's good in the 1-2, good on the overhand, good on the left hook. He also adding more tools to his game, kicking a little bit better, especially to the calf. But in terms of overall game, he kind of just wants to fight a stand-up fight. If he somehow gets to the clinch, usually he breaks up pretty quickly. So his style is more like a striking style. On the other hand, we have the other side we have Jingliang Li, which is a little bit more complete in terms of overall skills in MMA. He's primarily a striker himself. He likes to use kicks, especially leg kicks, calf kicks. He also can throw to the head eventually. Good hooks, basically. He likes the power punches. He uses jab pretty well. Recently, he's been adding more head movement, more footwork, more feints, using the jab a little bit better. But it's either the jab or the power punches, basically, on Jingliang Li's side. But he's got quite decent wrestling and quite decent clinch game as well. This is an interesting fight, and I think Ponzinibbio is a decent favorite, but I'm not too high on him because I don't like much his chin, and I don't like much the way he reacts after getting hit. And we know about Jingliang Li, this guy has got natural power. He doesn't look like, but he does have good power. And I think if he starts landing on Ponzinibbio can get disoriented, can start making lots of mistakes on the fight and even get finished, So that's why I'm confident on Santiago, but not that much. I'm gonna be picking him by decision. I think the best bet is probably SantiagoPonzinibbio by decision. If you can get at this price, I think it's quite difficult, but there is some chance. If you like either of these guys by TKO, I think this is a good price. Even though I think Jingliang Li has a little bit better chance to finish Santiago. And if you feel like Li by decision is also not a bad bet. I think he can make it ugly, land warm, do more damage, and score a decision. Because Santiago is a very tough guy. He's not gonna just give up. He's gonna continue fighting. But there's the chin part that I said, and he doesn't react too well. All right. Warlley Alves versus Christian Aguilera. This is probably a fight that both of them are very happy to have, because they have the style that the other likes. Basically, they both like to change, strikes in the middle of the cage. This is the style for both of them. Warlley Alves, he's more like a well-rounded fighter, I can argue. But when he tries to use his well-rounded skill set, he kind of fades. He's usually to kickboxing more than anything else, so that's why when he tries to wrestle, even though he has some skills, or even when he tries to clinch, he tends to fade after that, which can be dangerous here, because Aguilera, he's a guy that likes to move forward, lots of head movements, lots of these small twitches, as a high-level boxer, good head movement, like I said, and he's heavy on the front foot, lots of jabs, powerful overhands, good left hooks, especially to the body. I think the safest pick here is Alves, because if he starts landing leg kicks, it's, I think gonna be tough for Aguilera because he has so much weight on the front foot. But if Alves is not smart enough, if he brings the wrong game plan here, which is if he starts trying to clinch or trying to wrestle with Aguilera, I think he's gonna get tired and Aguilera can take this over, even finish Alves. Still, I think most likely Alves is gonna show up as his kickboxing style, gonna start landing more leg kicks and do more damage, you know. So that's why I'm picking Alves. I'll go by decision because I think you know, Aguilera is a tough guy, even though he has 4 knockouts under his record. I think Alves has power, but I'm not sure he's gonna be really able to finish Aguilera. So that's why I think Alves by decision is the safest pick. And in terms of bet, I would say either way by decision, because like I said, so many questions to this fight. Alves, he's not known by a guy with a good card or with a good game plan, so I think can go either way, TKO or decision. I would take the bet at this price, or even Alves by submission, because he can hurt Aguilera, jump to his back, get a guillotine or something. Okay, so take a look for this bet if you're interested in. Mike Grundy versus Nik Lentz. Interesting fight, guys, high level fight. Mike Grundy, a guy that wrestles pretty well, you know, he's a high level wrestler. He's also got good power, especially with the overhand. He also likes the left hooks. He uses his athleticism to his advantage, lots of footwork, moves the head pretty well too. Nik Lentz, a guy that is a veteran. This guy has over 40 fights. He's he doesn't look much. No, if you look at him, he doesn't even appear to be a fighter, but this guy is legit, you know. He's got the experience, he's got the technique, he's calm in the octagon, he has great overall skills, you know, good wrestling. He's actually at his best when he's the wrestler, but he has also got good jiu-jitsu, good chokes. He's got good hands himself, you know, very accurate, good kicks, great leg dexterity. He times his kicks pretty well as well. So this is not an easy fight to call. I'd say Grundy has the edge here, but honestly I didn't like much what I've seen from Grundy his last fight against Movsar. He faded a little bit in a sense that he was not able to touch Evloev too much, and I think he panicked a little bit after that. In his first fight against the other guy, I just forgot the name, he was better, you know, he showed his A game there, like I told you guys, fast, you know, super good wrestling, so he's a dangerous fighter. And if he brings his best game, I think he's the good favorite here. But still, Lentz is in this fight. Lentz not gonna give up. He's gonna continue moving forward. If Grundy makes a mistake, he's gonna take him down, gonna wear on him, gonna land on him. So I wouldn't count Lentz out of this fight. And but either way, I think the safest pick here is Grundy by decision. Now in terms of bet, I would consider Lentz as a live bet, thinking that if Grundy starts losing his composure again, Lentz will take over. And in terms of decision, either way, guys, plus 300 is a great bet because both of these guys are tough. I don't think either guy can finish the other. And by submission, you know, both have a chance by submission. Grundy has a great arm triangles from top. He's very strong. Lentz has got great guillotines. He can also throw something, you know, like arm bar stuff. Not too much his thing, but he has the skill for it. So if you're gonna take submission, it has to be in a good return, you know. So I would say this at these levels. All right. Rodolfo Vieira versus Anthony Hernandez. This is one of the easiest fights to pick, guys. In my opinion, there's only one way Anthony Hernandez is gonna win this fight. It's gonna be by knockout in the first round. If he doesn't, he's gonna get mauled. He's gonna get finished pretty quickly. Hernandez likes to come forward and blitz. Vieira maybe doesn't have the best chin in the world. Saparbek Safarov was able to hurt him quite badly with only one kick. But still, I think it's gonna be a tough fight for Hernandez. I see Vieira fighting smart. He's composed, you know, he's calm, he's a tough guy. So the hands are up, his defense is quite good too. I think if Hernandez comes forward and comes fast, Vieira gonna time him, gonna take him down, gonna finish this fight pretty quickly. So that's my prediction. Vieira by submission in round 1. Now in terms of bet, Hernandez by TKO at this price, it's gonna be nearly impossible, I think, to get it, but take a look. And then Vieira, I would go Vieira by submission in any of these. I think it's a good bet, yeah. Or even by decision. For some reason Hernandez can survive. I hardly think so, but still, I would say Vieira by submission in the first round. At this price, maybe possible to find, so take a look at it. Yanan versus Bethe Correia. It's basically the young lioness versus the old, you know, Bethe Correia being the old. Bethe, she's more like a fighter that likes to move forward, likes to throw some volume, but it's nothing impressive, guys, to be honest. She's been out there, she's quite consistent, she's trying to add tools to her game. But honestly, I'm not convinced about, her high level skills or something. Yanan is quite a similar fighter though. She's much younger. She's got the height, she's got the strength, she's got the skills here. I can argue, but they are quite similar in terms of stand-up skills. But Yanan has better accuracy. She has the range, and I like her volume. I think she lands more. Bethe Correia tries to throw more, but I think Yanan lands more. Plus, she's the better rounded fighter. She has good timing on her clinch game. She can also shoot a little bit, and I think she's tougher also. At this point of her career, Correia has had her chin tested quite a couple of times, so I think Yanan gonna be able to bang with her, do more damage, and quite comfortably win this fight. Even though my concern here, Yanan, sometimes she tends to be passive. She sits back, she waits for the opponent because she counters quite well. So I think that can sway a little bit the judges if it happens here, but still I'm quite comfortable picking Yanan here. I'm picking her by decision. I also have a bet on her. Actually, this is a median bet type of things in my control. So Yanan at a pick 'em level, I got a bet on her. Yanan by decision at plus 300. I feel like Correia very likely by decision, guys. Plus 400 would be an awesome bet. I think it's gonna be tough to find the line like this and like this. But Yanan by TKO, take a look into that. I think she has a chance to finish Correia. She starts landing, like I said, Correia doesn't have the best chin in the world, so take a look for this prop bet. You may be able to cash here. Punahele Soriano versus Dusko Todorovic. Interesting fight, guys. Todorovic is a guy who likes to come forward, who likes to clinch his opponent, wear on his opponents, and then take over and start landing and finish the guy. He's also good in wrestling, and especially he's very good on the clinch. It's more like his style. Punahele Soriano, a guy that it's young himself. Todorovic is 26, whereas Soriano is probably 28 or something. So Soriano is a young guy himself, a tough guy. Good power on his hands, good wrestling. He likes to, like I say here, to hold the center of the octagon. He likes a pullback with the strikes. He's quite aggressive too. I like his technique on the wrestling. So I think I'm going out of mainstream here. I'm picking Soriano. I'll be going by decision, even though Soriano has good power and Todorovic, he carries the chin quite up. I think Soriano by decision is the most likely outcome because Todorovic, he's a quite tough guy, hasn't been finished before, so I think not gonna be easy to finish. The way I see this, I think Todorovic gonna try to close the gap, gonna hit some shots on the way, gonna try to clinch. I'm expecting that Soriano has the cardio on point, because if he doesn't, he's gonna lose this fight 100%. But with the cardio on point, he's the better wrestler. I think he's gonna be able to take Todorovic down, do some damage, take him down again, make space, land more. This type of fight, But still, if you like Todorovic, I would say wait for a live bet. I think Soriano starts quite fast, which makes things interesting. If he can either finish Todorovic or he's gonna get tired, there's a good chance for that. So if you like Todorovic, a live bet on him may be worth it. Or I like Puna in the first couple of rounds, like I told you guys, by TKO, so take a look in these prop bets. Or Todorovic, either guy basically by decision at plus 400, I think it's worth it, alright? Austin Lingo versus Jacob Kilburn. Lingo, a young guy, both of these guys young. This guy likes to move forward, try to move his head, get inside, lots of power punches. He's in a good training camp, but still I see quite a lot of mistakes from him, especially with the stance. He tends to have both of the legs very close to each other, so it's easy to time leg kicks, to time double leg takedowns, or even to explode on him. He doesn't have the movement, the base to quickly move out. But it's not too much Jacob Kilburn style. Anything that I have spoken, Kilburn, he likes to wait the opponent to come in, which Lingo most likely gonna come, and he likes to throw straight punches, likes to kick. He can go creative, like with spinning kicks, knees, so he has more tools in his toolbox. He's also not a bad wrestler, does a quite decent job on the clinch, but I think Lingo has more chances here, guys. I think he's more aggressive, has a little bit more power, and Kilburn carries the chin very high, which concerns me in this fight. I think Lingo gonna be able to keep, in close range, start landing those hooks. If Kilburn shoots, I think Lingo has quite decent takedown defense. He's gonna come prepared for that. He's gonna stuff Kilburn and then gonna be able to eventually do quite a lot of damage and finish Kilburn. But obviously Kilburn is gonna be ready. He's got the more around the skill set. Both of these guys can surprise us here as they're both young. It's difficult to predict what they are exactly gonna do. But I would say most likely it's Lingo by TKO. I like him in the first couple of rounds. Or Kilburn, if you like him, go by decision. I think he doesn't have, he has the tools but doesn't have enough output to put a guy like Lingo out. Alright, so it's Lingo by TKO, but if you want Lingo by decision, this is the prop that I would be taking. Carlos Felipe versus Justin Tafa to finish in round, this is the last one to finish the prelims. Carlos Felipe, a heavyweight that likes to come forward, with lots of jabs, moves his head pretty well, very sharp, overhand right, good power there. He also likes body shots. He's trying to add tools to his game, but it's not too much his things to clinch, even though he has quite decent takedown defense, good underhooks. Offensively, he doesn't do that much. The problem that I have with Carlos Felipe seems to be his cardio, because I saw a little bit of grappling in one of his fights. He basically slowed down quite significantly from after this grappling part. Justin Tafa's a tough guy, young guy himself. This guy's improving really a lot. Justin Tafa he added great tools to his game, using better the leg kicks. He's a great power puncher. He has more power than Felipe. Felipe has more volume, so both of these guys can TKO each other. But I think Tafa has more power. I like Tafa a little bit better in terms of creativity and using better tools in the fight. Plus, I think he does a better job in the clinch. I like the way he positions himself, the head position with the underhooks. So I'm very interested to see what kind of version Justin Tafa gonna show in this fight. And I'm kind of giving 50-50 as improvement and for both of these guys. So it's a quite tough fight to call. I'll be picking Felipe by decision. As surprising as this sounds, I think these guys can end up in a fight where it's close, where none of these guys is able to land consistently, or at least not able to finish the other, because they are both tough, they're both young. So we'll see. And in terms of bet, I think it's either way, decision or TKO. Because, like I said, both of these guys are tough, both got the skill, both got the power, and I think both are going to become ready to fight. Now, in terms of bet, and to wrap this up, guys, the fight that we covered was Joaquin Buckley versus Alessio de Chirico. I'm not betting any of these guys. I'm not talking about prop bets here. Prop bets I talk about during the fight breakdown. So I'm not also accounting for the prop bets that I've taken. I'm accounting straight bets and parlays only, right? So my Grundy versus Nik Lentz, I'm not betting any of these guys. The pick is Grundy, and here the pick is Buckley. Carlos Felipe versus Justin Tafa. I'm picking Felipe, but I'm betting Tafa at this price. It's just less than 1% of my money because I'm not too convinced. It's tough to say. Both little experience, so I'm gonna be betting Tafa because I think there is some value in this, but not so much, as you guys see per the amount I'm betting. Warlley Alves versus Christian Aguilera. Picking Alves, no bet. Hawes versus Nassourdine Imavov. Pick and bet Imavov. I think there's good value here. I'm putting 1.25% of my money here, and actually I may increase this to 1.5%. So let me do that. I'm gonna take 1.5% of bet in Imavov, still taken as a low amount. Yanan versus Bethe Correia. I'm quite confident on Yanan, 2.5% of my money. Santiago versus Ponzinibbio versus Jingliang Li. Pick is Ponzinibbio. I'm not betting either of these guys. Austin Lingo versus Jacob Kilburn. I'm picking Lingo. I'm not betting either of these guys. Rodolfo Vieira versus Anthony Hernandez. It's quite strong pick on Vieira, but I think it's a quite high price to pay. That's why I'm parlaying only 1.5%, even though I have this as a median confidence win. So it's Vieira quite comfortably, but I would be careful, not going to throw too much money on him. And then we had Punahele Soriano versus Dusko Todorovic. I'm picking and betting Soriano. I'm gonna be doing like 1.25% of my money because I'm not that convinced about Punahele Soriano's cardio, even though I think he's gonna come sharp, and I think he's the better wrestler and he's the better striker in this matchup. All right, so I'm picking and betting the dog here, guys. Again, if you like this video, if you liked everything I'm discussing here, please like and subscribe, share with your friends. If you're interested in personalized attention, take a look in the email and the about of my channel. Drop me a message, and if not, I'll see you next time. This is Rodolfo Vieira, bringing the best, most consistent and transparent betting strategy for you.